when the wind comes through the desert and it like moves the sand disperses and the dust particles move. But at the end of the day, nothing has changed. Like whenever I'm walking through New York City, and I just like happen to notice the people who are walking around me, I just think we're all like grains of sand. You know, you'll see someone walking out of their Bentley, and they'll walk past some homeless person who's missing teeth and is disheveled, not necessarily in the greatest physical appearance. And I think that's when it becomes more striking for you to think about the fact that at the end of the day, we're all the same, and the fact that like one managed to achieve material success and the other is lying on the side of the street. How meaningful is that at the end of the day? There's a deficit of compassion in the world. You know, we talk a lot about global deficits and how countries generate a lot of debt and aren't necessarily able to pay it back, and how the economic crises of the world are responsible for a lot of turmoil. But I think that doesn't get at the underlying issue of the fact that we just seem to have forgotten that we need to treat each other well. Attention, we'll be arriving at your destination shortly. Please wait for what? I don't have time for your rules. In indiscretion, I leave to have my fill. Why wait my turn when others will? I walk toward the exit, content with the fact that I've bent my will, rent asunder anything that would dare interfere, or so it seems to me after all, in just a day's time. There's suddenly turbulence. I go to grab my luggage, rush to my seat, and rummage for the belt, but I find nothing in panic. Maniacally, I hunt for the metal buckle to feel some semblance of reassurance that it's not too late, but my chest tightens and I see mercy from above. The masks drop, and no, ma'am, I don't have time to help you with yours. I'm too young for my life to end so suddenly, so abruptly. So I can't offer a hand until I see with certainty the shores of relief from the window pane. So I was working in a lab over the summer, and being the only Muslim there, and observing Ramadan, religion was frequently a topic of conversation. And I remember one day, I was asked by everyone like why I believe what I believe and like what I get out of it. So I went through that explanation to the best of my ability. Ultimately, I asked like what greater meaning or what greater purpose does your life serve, if in the grand scheme of things, But at the end of the day, even if you've done that, if you have found the vaccine to polio, for instance, what then, right? Does it really matter, right? So there are perspectives that you could take in which that doesn't matter because, in a billion years, the Earth won't be around anymore. At the end of the day, what greater significance does it hold? And I think the answer, if you don't believe in a higher truth or in like greater meaning, then your answer stops there because there is no purpose. My ultimate understanding is that the only reason that anything that we do matters is because there's like a higher truth and there's a higher power that we're ultimately accountable to. Sort of the grand architect of the universe, if you will. And so for me, that's what like resolves the conflict that I have. It's easy to demonize a group of people and say that they're the cause of all of your social ills and they're the reason that your society is as violent and corrupt and as it is, and that poverty is rampant, that the reason that all of these things are happening is because there's this other, and that you have to, if you extinguish the other, then somehow the problems that lie in your own backyard will just settle themselves. Muslims happen to be the crop of the season that 10, 20, 30 years from now, I don't know how long it'll take, it'll be someone else. And it's just this repetitive cycle, and I don't think that we don't achieve anything by perpetuating the system. And until people realize that the real problem is that there's a deficit of compassion, not a deficit of dollars. Until then, I don't really see how a lot of these problems will get resolved.